Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Cape Rugby TV time. We're taking a look at what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Lots for us to talk about tonight. I've got Jerome Parvater in the studio with me, but before I introduce him or welcome him, let me just say a big thanks to our partners on board with us, Score Energy Drinks. The Score Sevens is going to be happening soon. Everybody's going to be signing up to play in the Score Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. Also on board with Cape Rugby TV is, of course, Cyber Smart Internet Service Providers. Kind supporter to Cape Rugby TV. They've got all your internet service products. Jerome Parvater. Jerome, nice to have you back, man.
Yeah, good to be back. And I think we can call it now business end of the competition with all these other teams now playing in the playoffs and finish the playoffs at City Park this weekend. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I think a lot of people were thinking last week that that's the end of it, but it's not the end of it, it's just the beginning again.
It's the end of clubs now knowing who's going up to Super C, who's going up to Super B, who's playing in Super A. So that's what I mean about the competition that we've been talking about a lot. There's still other competitions going on, but I mean these clubs now, I think they're happy that they know where they are next year.
Yeah, one of the competitions actually is still happening right now is the Paarl region. They seem to be still quite busy.
Yeah, well, I think it was the semi-finals. I think it was the semi-finals on Saturday. So yeah, so they're still busy. So they still have a week or two, I think.
So there is a bit of talk about the format of the rugby. And if you look at the Paarl region, right, it's interesting because look at the Paarl region. There's, I think, 9 teams there, and they play home and away against each other. And then they go into a knockout format. I don't see any concern there that there's too much rugby. I see everybody's enjoying playing.
Yeah, look, I mean, we know the Paarl region, like the people, they love their rugby there. So I don't think people complain about too much rugby. I mean, look, even if you look at international rugby, you look at URC, you look at, like it's whole year that the people are playing. Yeah. So there's no such thing as too much rugby, just but how you manage your squads, I think.
Yeah, but it's also a good thing for the fans because you know, okay, Saturday afternoon is my rugby day. And you go every weekend and you watch a bit of rugby. The fan doesn't care.
No, they really don't care. I think I think it was last week when Gabel played against they played against a memorial game for David Hendricks.
Yes.
Against Westbank from Malmesbury.
Yeah.
And there's lots of people, so people will, where there's rugby, people will always go.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, it was, of course, rugby at City Park this past weekend, and it was the last of the playoffs. We'll talk through this in a second or so. Hamediehs and Violets were, of course, up against each other. It was one of the games, as well as Helderberg and Kraaifontein and Morningstar and Wraithby. We've still got a lot more to talk about tonight, but let's take a look here. We've managed to get from Riaz Khan a couple of videos behind the scenes shot by some of the fans of the Hamediehs Violets game. Let's take a look. Right, there we go. Big thanks then to Riaz Khan from Violets for sending it in. Of course, at the moment, not all the games are being recorded, but we're getting, as we always have been, we've been getting videos in from the fans and from the coaches and the players, which for us is fine as long as you can see some of the action behind the scenes, which is exactly what we do, is community-generated content. So if you are out there and you're seeing rugby footage, send it to us and we'll see if we can put it on TV. Final result then, before we talk about the other games, but final result then went in favor in this Super League C match of Violets. Violets winning 34 points to 32. Jerome, pretty close game.
Yeah, you can see if you watch the game, you can see it's a pretty close game, and you can see also why that game went into extra time.
Yeah.
If you just see how they play, because both teams it was really, really good rugby. The patience that they have, the way they play, the way they keep the ball, the execution, even from lineouts. There was a bit of wind, but they still managed to get their lineouts. The set pieces was good from both sides. So yeah, it's just it was just amazing to see how they control the game.
For Violets and Hamediehs, I mean, well, more for Violets. They now get promoted, right? They're promoted to Super League B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've been, I think it's almost like 7 years or whatever they've been waiting to get promoted. I mean, Hamediehs did well from where they were to get there, and they almost made it, but well done to Violets.
And just for the fans, and we were hoping, of course, to get Faisal Felton from Western Province Rugby in studio as well. And he might still join us today, folks, but we'll see. But Jerome, just for the fans, for Violets, the reason they were playing against Hamediehs, if we have this right, is because they ended up in 3rd place and had to play up into Super League B.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I remember, I think I told you last week, we spoke to their coach, the coach of Violets, and he just said like they were very disappointed with the game against Peoples, which they lost. I mean, Peoples beat them by far, and he said like he hoped they could just get back to their basics and just be calm and play like they normally play. And I think they didn't do too much before the game, like there wasn't much he said he could do, so they just concentrate on their game and whatever. In term to come to after a big loss like that and to come and play a game like this, it was also like a bit nerve-wracking for them because it went into extra time, but they managed to win the game.
All right, well, we're still going to talk about the Super League B and of course the Promotion League, of course matches happening in the Paarl region. So definitely lots to talk about still. And we'll still bring you some of those highlights again from City Park last week. So don't go away. We'll be back in a second.